class. I'm Isaac, your mathematics teacher from Xmart Online. I'll be teaching you each topic, and before you go, subscribe to our channel and press that notification button so that you'll be notified for every video that we are going to be uploading. So let's go to class. Hi there, and we are furthering on this topic, algebraic expression 1b, and we are going to be considering factorization of quadratic expressions. Now, content, what are we going to learn? Number one, we are going to learn factorization of quadratic expressions and the expansion of quadratic expressions. Now, factorization of quadratic expressions. A quadratic expression is one in which 2 is the highest power of the unknowns in the expression. Now, this is what we are talking about, the power of any expression that is not more than 2. Now, for example, when you have an equation like this one, when you have an equation like this, now when you see the highest power, all this one is raised to power 1, so that means if you have raised to power 2, that equation will be quadratic. So anywhere that you have an expression with a letter or a number raised to power 2 is called quadratic expression. So 16 minus a squared is also a quadratic expression, y 3x squared plus 17 xy plus 10 y squared is a quadratic expression. Now, all of the above are quadratic expressions. Now, to factorize a quadratic expression is to express it as a product of its factors. I mean, to factorize a quadratic expression is to express it as a product of its factors. You are going to understand now. Note this, that a quadratic expression may not have other factors than itself and 1. For example, if you have x squared plus 2x minus x, a 2x is just it has a factor of its own self and 1, and this type of quadratic expression can never be factorized. So know this one as we go. Now, let's move on. Now let's go to example. Factorize the following quadratic expressions. Number 1, x squared plus 7x plus 9 plus 10. Number 2, d squared plus 11x plus 18. Now solution. Number 1, now x squared plus 7x plus 10. This is how you are going to do. First step now. Step 1 is that you are going to tell us the coefficient of this first alphabet. Now let's go. Now, x squared plus 7x plus 10 equals to open bracket x, give space, close the bracket, open bracket again, x, give space, and close the bracket. Since the first term in the given expression is x squared, in this expression, of course, you know that this is the first term and in this expression. So let's move on. Now, second step, find two numbers such that their product is plus 10 and their sum is plus 7. That is how you are going to find the factor now. Are you following now? Having expressed this as quadratic expression this way, and then you are going to go to the next step, which is this. You are going to find two numbers such that their product, that is their product, is plus 10 and their sum addition is plus 7. Let me show you now. Number here which has a product of 10. That's what they're saying. They are looking for a number that has a product of two numbers that have a product of 10 and two numbers that have the sum of plus 7. Are you following now? That's how to get the factor. Don't forget that we have to factorize this equation. Now I'll suggest first one that when you multiply plus 10 and plus 1, you are going to get 10, but when you add them together, you are going to get plus 11. That means this one is not going to work. Are you seeing it? Because it's supposed, when you add the same number here, it's supposed to be plus 7. Let's suggest another number again. Yes, we are suggesting 2 plus 2 and plus 5 and plus 2. Now multiply plus 5 and plus 2 together is going to give you 10, which is okay, is right to get the product to be 10. And when you add them together, it's going to give you plus 7, which is the sum that we are looking for. That means this one is okay. Now we can still suggest some other factors too. Are you getting me now? So let's move on. Now minus 10 and minus 1, when you multiply them together, you are going to get plus 10, but when you add them together, you are going to get minus 11, which is not acceptable, because we're supposed to get plus 7 here. So because the 2 must be correct, and it's only second one here that is correct. So let's still suggest another two numbers. Let's say minus 5 and then minus 2. When you multiply minus 5 times minus 2, you are going to get plus 10 also, which is right. But when you add them together, you are going to get minus 7, which is wrong. That means we are not going to take this one. Are you following me? So we are not going to take this one. Then of this, only 2 gives the required result. Are you following now? Let me number it so that you get it. This is number 1, this is number 2, this is 3. Are you seeing it now? This is 4. So only 2, which is a Roman figure, gives the required result. So that is what we have marked. Are you following now? So because we have the addition of two numbers, which is equal to plus 10, and addition and multiplication of two numbers, which is equal to plus 10, and addition of that same two numbers, which is equal to plus 7. Now let's move on. Now that means x squared plus 7x plus 10 will now be equal to where you kept the space before, here, up here. Are you seeing it? And this space. It now means you are going to put those two numbers inside it. Now the first number is plus 5. You just put it plus 5. Are you seeing it now? And then the second number is plus 2. Plus 2. Are you seeing it now? That is what we got here. That is how to factorize a quadratic expression. Let's move on. Yeah. Note this. Number 1, the answer can be checked by expanding the bracket. So if you want to know that you are correct, then you can expand this bracket again, so that if you get the same answer like this, that means you are correct. If you get the wrong answer, that means the factor you pick is not correct. Are you following me? So let's move on. Now number 2 is that the order of the bracket is not important. The order of this bracket is not important. The first bracket could be at the back, while the second bracket will be at the front. Are you seeing it now? So either of the way is equal. So let's move on. Now you can now see that this open bracket x plus 2 close the bracket, open bracket x plus 5 close the bracket, is still the same thing as open bracket x plus 5 close the bracket, open bracket x plus 2, when x plus 5 is first. Are you getting it? So when you multiply and expand this expression, you're going to get the same answer. Now let's go to question 2, the example 2 now, which is d squared plus 11d plus 18. Now the first step, you are going to open the two bracket for the factorization, that is d square plus 11d plus 18 will be equals to open bracket d, and then give space, close the bracket, open bracket again, d, keep space and close the bracket. Now since the first term in the given expression is d square, now let's go to second step, which is now going to be to find two numbers such that their product is 18, such that their product is 18 and their addition is 11. Are you getting it now? That is positive 18 and positive 11. Since 18 is positive, consider 11 and consider the 11 is positive. So consider this now positive factors only. Then we are talking about the factors of 18, and when you add it together it's going to give you 11. This is typographical error. This is 18. So now that is the two numbers that you multiply together to give you plus 18, and when you add them together they will give you plus 11. Are you following now? So let's move on. Let's suggest this one, 18 and 1, plus 18 and plus 1. When you multiply plus 18 times 1, you are going to get plus 18, which is right in multiplication. But when you add them together, you are going to get 19, which is wrong. You must get plus 11. Let's suggest two numbers again. Let's suggest plus 9 and plus 2. Now when you multiply plus 9 and plus 2 together, you are going to get plus 18. When you add them together, you are going to get plus 11. That means this one is correct. Now let's move on. Let's suggest another number. Let's see. Now when you suggest plus 6 and plus 3, when you multiply 6 and 3 together, you are going to get plus 18. But when you add them together, you are getting 9. That means this one cannot be taken also. Now of all these, only 2. It's not that we put it in 2. It might be your first one. You can get it right at the first attempt. So only 2 gives the required result. That means we have the factor to be, the two factors to be plus 9 and plus 2. Let's move on. Now thus d square plus 11d plus 18 equals to d. Bring the first factor, it might be 9 or 2, just take plus 2, close the bracket, open bracket again, d plus 9. This is how to factorize a quadratic expression. I believe you understand this and you can do something like this for yourself. Now let's move on. This is your evaluation. Factorize the following using the same method that I used for the two examples. Factorize these two equations. Now let's go to expansion of quadratic expression. What we did was a factorization of quadratic expression. Now the second lesson now is expression of quadratic expression. Now this expression x plus 2 and x minus 5 means open bracket x plus 2 close the bracket times open bracket x minus 5 close the bracket. Now the product of the two binomials x plus 2 and x minus 5 are found by multiplying each term in the second binomials. Now you are going to get what we are talking about. When you want to expand them, you are going to multiply them together. Now let's go to examples. Find the product of the following. Number 1 is open bracket x minus x plus 2 close bracket open bracket x minus 5 close bracket, and number 2 to be this one. Now solution. Number 1 x plus 2 and x minus y. Now this is what we are going to do. Is either you pick one. If you are choosing this bracket, are you following me? That means you are going to take this x. Are you following? You are going to take this x like this, and you are going to write everything that is in this bracket. X minus 5. Are you seeing it now? You are now going to take plus 2. Plus 2. You are going to open bracket again. You put x minus 5 again. X. Are you seeing it now? Minus 5. So this is what you can do, and then you know that but they pick this one and they use it to multiply this bracket. That is why it's x open bracket x plus 2 close bracket and minus 5 open bracket x plus 2. Either of the way, you are good to go. Are you following now? So you are good to go either of the way. That's how to expand a quadratic expression. That's how to expand quadratic expression. Now let's move on. Haven't done this, you can now say x times x, which is x squared, x times 2, which is plus 2x, then minus 5 times x minus 5x, and then minus 5 times plus 2 minus 10. Are you getting it? Now you see that 2x plus 2x and minus 5x, they are like, because they have the same alphabet. That means you can add them together. But you have 2 and you have the depth of 5. When you pay 2, what is the number that will make the depth of 3? That is minus 3. It's now going to be x minus 3x minus 10. That is your final answer. You can't add anything again because there is no like terms again. Let's go to number 2, which is open bracket 4m minus n close bracket and open bracket 3m minus n close bracket, which is now equals to, you can now pick the first bracket to use it to multiply all that is in the second bracket. Take 4m to multiply all that is here, and you take minus n to multiply all that is here again. Are you seeing it now? That is what we are talking about. That's what we are talking about. Now that is 4m open bracket 3m minus n close bracket and minus n open bracket 3m minus n close the bracket. Let's move on, which is now going to be 4m times 3m, which is now going to be 12m squared, and then 4m times minus n, which is now going to be minus 4mn. Then minus n times 3m is going to be minus 3mn, and then minus n minus n times minus n is going to be plus n squared. Are you following now? Now look at the like terms. The like terms are minus 4mn and minus 3mn, meaning depth of minus 4mn and depth of minus 3mn. So when you add all the depth together, it's going to be minus 7mn. Now, which is now going to be minus 12m plus 12m squared, this one. Then when you add this depth together, minus 7mn and then plus n squared. That is the final answer. I believe you understand this and you can do it yourself. So when you want to expand any quadratic expression, you use this method. That is the end of this lesson. We'll see in the later one. Thank you. You're welcome.